Hello guys, welcome to Turtle Talk. This is third episode, and I guess I generally like to start off with more of what I have done or been doing in this kind of thing, this kind of vlog, and I haven't been watching as much anime. I've been watching Bleach again, which I think I finished the second season and I'm partway into the third. I think the way that I have them is not separated correctly. At some point, somewhere around season 7 or 6 or 7, the files are totally in the wrong folders. So, I just don't know when it starts being wrong, if it's in the third or in the fourth. I think the first and second are correct. But so I've been watching Bleach, and yeah, there's just like what not to love about Bleach. My first impression of Bleach when I was first like, oh, what should I watch? Someone suggested Bleach. I was just thinking that's the dumbest name for an anime. I didn't know anything. I didn't know Shonen Jump. I didn't know any manga really. And they were like, there's a lot of episodes, and I was like, okay, and it's not all done and it's not finished, and that's something that always scares me when something is like, oh yeah, we've got like 300 episodes in Japanese and there's like 160 in English. I'm like, okay, so there's a lot more gonna be translated, but is it gonna be translated, or will it, because my thing is, I watch anime generally when I'm going to sleep, and I don't want to be reading and trying to fall asleep at the same time. It just doesn't work. You can't have your eyes open, and and you could if you're really good at just staring off into space and sleeping, but I I need to have my eyes closed to go to sleep, and so I like to watch anime that is dubbed when I'm going to sleep. If I am going to watch something and watch subtitles, it has to be like I have to be one in the mindset for, because most of the time the Japanese voices are so like high-pitched girly screaming stuff that I'm like okay, I don't I don't get it. Some people are very set in Japanese audio with subtitles is better. I'm just not one of those people. I know a lot of the more hardcore enthusiasts in anime. I know, I understand if you're one of those people. I'm not against it. It's just generally when I'm watching anime, I am going to sleep. It's the purpose of like I'm watching it and sleeping, because I want that background noise on while I pass out. So some people don't do that. Some people want dead silence when they sleep. I'm not one of those people, man. I've always been music or a movie or TV, something on the background, and so more recent years it's been more anime. Back in the day, it used to be like Lord of the Rings or anything that was like a longer movie and put on repeat because I wanted it to keep going once I got to the end. There was even a few movies that would, like, just because the music in the menu was really well done or really looped really well, I'd have that movie play and then it would just go to the menu and it'd just play the music, whatever it was, forever. I think the Last Unicorn was one that had like some really pretty menu music when I got the DVD, and that was one of those ones that I could pass out watching that movie over and over and over, and so and watch that, pass out, and just leave the music going on the menu while I slept. Back to Bleach. It was one of those animes that so many people were like, "You gotta watch this. It's so good." And I was just like, I don't have a clue what Bleach is. I don't know what it's about. And I didn't even know where to start, like if I should just start at episode 1. I asked people that a few times, and they're like, just start watching it, it's so good. You can go back and watch the earlier episodes later, you can. And I wanna generally start something when I have like enough time, or like on a day, and I can watch a few episodes, not with the intent to fall asleep, to get into it and then know that I like it, or that it's calm enough. Some things are just not calm enough to go to sleep to. Oddly enough, I can sleep to like Dragon Ball Z. I can pass out Dragon Ball Z because I've seen it several times. I know the story. I know what's going on. It's just so not to say Dragon Ball Z is soothing at all, but I used to listen to all kinds of crazy hard rock and stuff. I wasn't really a big metal person, but still rock and stuff. When I was listening to music and going to sleep in like trade school and stuff, I couldn't watch TV. We had to have lights out, but had headphones and had the speaker in my bed so I can listen to music. Which that was something that, man, if you ever try and go to sleep to music, and you start out on a song that's quieter, and then the next song comes on and it's loud or something, or a song that's like the ep3 is not, or the CD is just not all equalized properly. Man, and back then I was playing a lot of mp3 discs and mp3s that were just, from Napster or something back then. Kaza and I'm trying to think what was after Kaza, not Winamp, Win, blah, 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 whatever the Win one was. What's that one called? I don't know. So downloading music, not all to the same audio level. Every now and then a song would come on and it'd just be so loud, or wake up my roommates or me or whoever, get me in trouble, or be loud enough that a hall monitor or someone could hear, RA could hear, and it's just, whoops, or they're doing their inspection right as the song changes to the loud song. That's terrible. So that's happened. But I can normally sleep through about pretty much anything or have any noise going on. Bleach, I think the first 2 seasons they're fairly calm, audio-wise. There's fighting and stuff going on, but I don't think they're that disruptively loud. Maybe, but even the files that I have of it are like, all of a sudden, like episode 42 was like twice the volume. So, yeah, the season when they changed from one season to the next, or my files are just messed up, So, I don't know what I did wrong when I got them, but didn't rip them right, something. So, yeah. Bleach is, it's good. I like it. I got into it at first thinking, okay, it's got the Soul Reaper thing going on, and they're just going on while the kid's going to school, and there's going to be a lot of... And then it definitely took, no spoilers here, a change. It seemed like it started off kind of slow. I want to say it started off slow, and when it kind of changed pace, it was like, well, this is a lot different than what I thought I was getting into initially. I mean, I realized they had a lot of episodes at that time. They were still making a lot of episodes. I want to say at the time that this is out that they have slowed to let manga catch up or something. And the English dubs are at 200 and something. 260, 90, 290, I think. So there's still a good 70 something episodes to go for the English dub until they catch up. I think it's at 230, or 360, 370, somewhere in there. So there's a lot, and I'm trying not even to look on like the Wikipedia to see like what the names of the episodes are, what the last episodes are, because I don't want any spoilers like so and so something something. I don't want those, because man, that is one of the things about when you Wikipedia something that you haven't already seen. You will find out spoilers of like, oh, so and so's still fighting this person. That's terrible, So, so yeah, that's one of the things I've been doing is Bleach, and I like it. I recommend it. You've got to take time to get past probably the first and second season to really even know what's going on. So if you don't have the patience to get through the first like 50 something episodes, not that you have to, but it just is so different from like the first like 5 episodes weren't enough to give me an idea of what the show was going to be. They weren't anything, they weren't anything to make me committed to it. They were good. The first 5 episodes were good enough that I was like, oh, I'll keep watching. but Bleach started out a lot slower than other stuff, but it's definitely once you get into it, and maybe it's because you're more committed because you've watched like so many episodes by then, but it's really good and it's really done well. And I think the best part is probably that they give so many characters. They have a lot of characters, but they give so many characters a background story, and they don't just do like a 5 second, or 2 minute thing in one episode. Sometimes they get a whole episode, and sometimes there's 2 or 3 episodes in a row for different characters. And you almost have two storylines going on when the one person is doing something, and you end up going on a backstory for someone else. Then you come back, and you're like, oh yeah, this person still had this going on. This this is trying to be spoiler free here. So, in this episode, I'm not trying to spoil Bleach to anyone or anything about Bleach, but there's a lot of character development and change and plot twists and stuff that are, I think they're subtler than something that's like set at like 50 episodes, or like what was I watching before? Death Note was like 37 episodes. Death Note, there's like only so much time, and like when something got to a point that was like, oh, wait, is this the end? Is this like, what is? You're like, no, there's definitely 37 episodes, so I don't know what they're doing. And then you start getting all kinds of stuff going on in your mind. You're just like, well, what are they doing? Bleach isn't quite like that, because Bleach, like, there's like 300 episodes, and like some of the, I'll call them sub-villains, mini bosses, they come up and they're a thing, they're a threat for about a season. And I think Bleach, even I feel like even like when something is like the main antagonist in a season, it's still sometimes it runs short or longer than the season. Like, they didn't just like, this is the season where this happens, and then like you're like, I've got 2 more episodes left, what's gonna happen? Because then sometimes it carries over just a little bit longer. I think they've done it really well, and I know it's based off manga, so people that read the manga might actually know more than I do, and might have a better concept of like why the timeline is the way it is. But I think I like it. Just flat out, I like it. I like it. It's up in my top anime category for shows, and I like it. It's like Fullmetal Alchemist is up there, the Gundam series is up there, Bleach is up there. Part of it's probably the committed. I've watched so many episodes, and I'm right now I'm rewatching, because I'm gonna rewatch a season that got completed in English dub in the last year, and I finally got I think I don't think I'm gonna have it. I think I'm gonna watch it on anime something website, blah 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 blah, someplace. I found a place to stream it, basically. And I actually checked, and I was like very careful not to like go too far. Like, is it in English? Slider. They're talking in English. Okay, good. Next. And I checked a couple episodes, and I was like, okay, they're all in English on the streaming site. So, and I don't have those on the DVD yet. So, what I do, I don't know. They're just not available on DVD yet. There, I haven't found them anywhere that I go. So, waiting. Probably will get them still, because it's one of those things it's a long time collecting now, since I got into it. So, I do like to rip and put the anime that I have on my hard drive, because I have a terabyte and I think a terabyte and a half on one hard drive and another terabyte hard drive, so plenty of room for storing all the stuff. So I have a lot of the anime that I have. So, like, initially it started as just personal backup, and then it was like, it's actually easier to just watch it from the computer than to change disc all the time. Or I used to be in the habit of like watching like one disc while going to sleep, and then if I could set it on repeat. Some of them didn't. Some of them just, I don't know, they don't work. Like the repeat option only repeats one episode, or it just didn't work. I don't know. I'm trying to remember what the issue was, but so at some point I got into just putting them all on the computer and watching them because the computer was so much easier of a process. It was back probably when I had Windows XP. I will make a quick tangent about Windows XP to Windows 7 was like, it was one of those really heartbreaking computer problems that I've had. And the thing is, Windows XP used to do so many things like write, and I remember when I upgraded to Windows 7, I think I actually tried Windows Vista first because it came with a computer that I ordered from my mom, and I was like, well, you'll get XP and I'll get Vista, and I was like, never mind, I'm keeping my XP, you can have this garbage, right? So, and it doesn't even work. Enough on hers, I put her on Windows 2000, so at one point, so yeah, I just never got into Vista, and eventually I was just like, okay, I don't understand what was so bad about Vista, and I tried it another time, and I was just like, no, it just doesn't work, I don't like it. Finally, I forced myself to get Windows 7, and I think part of it was some game that needed DirectX 11. I know I got Halo 2 for PC, which was like, there's not really a need to have Halo 2 for PC. Like, it was so much more fun on the Xbox. And I prefer mouse and keyboard shooters. I like Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I've been playing that quite a bit lately. I think I've played enough that I've prestiged again almost, or I'm about to prestige again. In the last week and a half. Yeah, about a week and a half. That's a pretty quick prestige for me, really. But I like. I'm trying to think. I liked how things worked in XP. And switching to Vista was terrible, and I switched to 7 for that game, and I think Crysis and something else. And I stuck it out. I forced myself. And Windows 7, yeah, it's better than Vista was. A lot of things work better. It doesn't use as much RAM and stuff. But the littlest things, man, that annoy me, and it's gonna sound really petty when I tell you guys, but like, the first thing was like my TV. I didn't change any hardware at first when I changed from XP to Windows 7. My TV is a little, it was a, I want to say Emerson, but yeah, Emerson, I think, yeah. Emerson TV. It was a 20-inch true flat TV, so it's still a CRT TV, not an LCD screen. So, and I've had that TV for years. It still works great. I have another one now that's a lot bigger TV, but still, let me get to the problem with it was that XP would auto scan your second monitor, and if it wasn't a plug and play or whatever, it would just make the image like fit. Where's my other hand? There. Make it fit. Dang it. It's mirrored. It's not mirrored. I don't know. I can't do this. Alright? It would make it fit to the border. And that was it. It would automatically do that. It would resize the picture. So whatever you're watching, when you clicked it on full screen, bam. When I switched to 7, it was like, oh, by the way, the picture's over here and up here, and it didn't match. And you'd have to get the resolution of the monitor right. Even if you put it in 1024 by 7 something, it'd be like, doesn't fit. And so that was just like ridiculous. And I could never, and because it wasn't a 4x3 TV, it's like a 5x4 weird resolution. It just like, I don't know. And I have a GeForce card, and it was just like, no, I can't do that. And I was like, but XP, I mean, just a day ago did the same thing. Auto scanned, I believe is what it was telling me was the thing I needed. Auto scan? I don't know. Auto something. It was some picture adjustment thing. And it's like, oh, Windows 7 doesn't do that, and Windows Vista doesn't do that. And I was like, what? But XP did. Okay? XP did it just fine. If, you know, something 7 years ago older could do it, why couldn't Windows 7? Okay, that was one of the first problems. And then I have like, this is a really petty one, but when I open up, say, a playlist with whatever, it doesn't matter what it is with Windows Media Player, and everyone's gonna be like, why do you use Windows Media Player? Just because I have the CCCP codec pack, so I can play MKV and whatever weird files you get off the internet. Okay, so you open up whatever playlist with Windows Media Player, and then there's the playlist thing on the side. You have to right click, and it used to just stay on in Windows XP, and it worked just fine, and it remembered my settings to repeat the playlist or to be on shuffle or whatever. Windows 7, it doesn't remember like jack. It forgets. Every time I open it, I have to tell it, right click on it, tell it to show the thing. It doesn't remember the window size. The window size, if you set it to this big, in Windows XP, it would stay that big. If you make it a little bit bigger, it would stay that size. It did not care. Windows 7 is like, you can have 50%, 100%, or 200%. That's it. Now, when you get file sizes and different things, I mean, they're in Windows XP. You just set it to the size you wanted it. It would auto-scale it to that. Perfect. Worked just fine. Switching to Windows 7, it was like, no, yeah, you get the little bitty one, or the medium one, or the jumbo one that doesn't fit on any screen ever. Because no file is the wrong size. Probably the most weird complaint I've ever had to make about switching to Windows 7, and it still does that. It's still the same problem. I mean, back in Windows XP, it worked just fine. I switched to Windows 7 years ago now, and I'm still having this problem. Why isn't there an update to something that worked just fine? Other things, I think the Windows Movie Maker used to be better. I used to be able to just go into Windows Movie Maker and add effects and do stuff. I could fraps whatever, and I could make little AMVs. Windows 7 Movie Maker, the free thing that comes with it, sucks. Like, it just doesn't work. It doesn't do anything. There used to be like an auto make a movie thing. You could just take all your pictures, dump them in there. I tried doing that on a Windows 7. It was like, you want to do, huh? Like, you want us to know how to do so? Like, it just couldn't. It did not compute. So sadly, all the things that used to be free and easy to use and, you know, didn't have a problem with on XP, when I switched to Windows 7, man, they were not cool. A lot of those same things were, I think, there were problems on Vista, and they carried over to Windows 7, and I don't know why. Like, if XP did it right years ago, I mean, XP was like such a good upgrade from 2000. Windows 7 is usable, but still, I think there's just little free things. I mean, I just want to like go through, like right now, and look through all programs and be like, what are the little things I don't use anymore? There's stuff I just don't even know. I don't even know what it's for. Paint, I still use Paint every now and then just to take screenshots and crop them really quick. Like boom, save. That's it. If I really need to do something, it's Photoshop. But I guess I can't really complain. I think the sound recorder. Let's see if this is. It doesn't. It's not even the same, man. Sound recorder, or like. I think you used to be able to just like type in command prompt like sound.32 or something. I want to say that's. I want to say that's what it was on XP, was just Windows key R, CMD, and then sound.32 or sound SND. Yeah, I don't remember. It's been years. Anyways, this little thing does not resemble that little gadget app, whatever. That program was a lot better. This one has, like, it says sound recorder, has a little red dot that says start recording. It's got a little scale that's going to my microphone, and then it's got a little help button, which, by the way, I've never needed their help buttons ever. And if you click on the little arrow, it says help F1 or about. I don't need your help. I went to school for computers. I can figure it out. But that's it. There's no file. No, I don't want to record, so stop that. And then it looks like it's trying to make a Windows Media audio file. It's not even trying to make an MP3. It's just cancel. It's not a very useful thing. Let's just say it's not very good. Do you want to change saves? No. I mean, there's just other things. Internet Explorer hasn't been as good as Firefox for me for a long time, but that's more of a preference thing. It was, it's nothing Internet Explorer did. Chrome is good. I use Chrome too, but that's really Chrome I use for different reasons. I guess Firefox because it's more customizable, and I like the way I have mine set up, and I just can't like I have Chrome installed and it's set as my default, so when I open stuff it opens in Chrome, but I generally have all my all my favorites saved on Firefox and imported over to Chrome, or auto import over to Chrome. So if I load Chrome and it doesn't have something that automatically updates, but yeah. Internet Explorer, there's just no need to use it really unless I need to do Windows updates the hard way. Like if I can't get it to like go to Control Panel and do Windows updates, then I will open up Internet Explorer, which there's no need to it. I don't think I even need it for Silverlight, and Silverlight's a Microsoft product. I think I use Silverlight through Firefox just fine. So, and that's really only for Netflix. I don't understand why they don't use Adobe Flash Player for Netflix. It boggles my mind. Because Silverlight's just not as good. Sorry, Microsoft. I'm just bashing on Microsoft in this video, and I don't mean it. I like them. I like Microsoft a lot better than I like other. We'll say Apple. I don't like apples. My iPhone's gonna go off or something. I'm just kidding. Yeah. I don't mean to bash on Windows, but they had things that worked better in the past, and then they stopped making them as good, and that's not a very customer-friendly kind of thing to do, and I don't like it. that's into that rant. Back to other stuff that's going on. There's not really much going on today, so I'm probably just gonna go play some Black Ops and like get to the prestige level and flip it over. I'm like just short of. I think I'm 2 levels off. So I'm probably gonna do that. It's a Black Ops free playing weekend or something until tomorrow at like 1 p.m. And so there's just a ton of kids that are like level 1 through 20 something. And I don't know what restrictions are put on them when they play. Like I think they can use their mics. I don't see most of them don't have a mic, so it's really annoying when you go into hardcore and there's just kids that they're shooting each other and they don't know what's going on. They've never played. They don't have any unlocks. It's terrible. But they're like, ooh, hardcore, I can do that because I think I'm good. And they're not. And then the league mode. The league mode I tried playing the last couple of days, and the queues in league mode are crazy long. Like I seriously get in these bugged out lobbies where it's like there's 2 or 3 people and I just would never find anyone else. Or it said there's like 96 lobbies or something open, but maybe 96 lobbies or 96 people playing. I don't know. It's not as busy as just regular like core and hardcore, or just they're a lot quicker. This is for PC, of course, so I don't know if it's different on Xbox and PlayStation, but for PC, the league play, the league mode, the ladder system, the ranking and stuff, it's slow. There's not enough people in it, and I don't know if there's a way for them to get more people into it. I know I went into the league and there was a couple kids that were like free weekend kids, and they were talking on their mic like, why is this taking so long? It's like, well, because you're playing the thing that like no one plays. I think eventually I just left that lobby and I rejoined and I got put in some lobby that was already finally getting together and started a game, but it's just not the league don't work. It's just not the thing to do. It's a fun concept because you already have everything unlocked. Everyone's on an equal playing field. You're not just like, oh, I gotta get this unlocked. I gotta do this and this and this to get this camouflage. It's different, but then it's still like SMG spraying kids because there's no friendly fire, and I don't know. Hardcore is just it's more the better game mode for like a serious game because it's less spraying and people aren't just team killing and nuking everything, and there's not just bombs and grenades, and there is, but there's not as much. Hardcore is definitely I like it a lot. At first I was like, I don't like hardcore. I don't get it. My friend Caleb was like, let's play some hardcore, and I was like, I'll learn. And the first couple times I'm getting kicked. I wasn't even shooting people. I think the game was just out to get me. Like I'd be playing, we'd start around and it'd just kick me instantly. And he's like, "What'd you do?" I was like, "I didn't even fire my gun." I think the game hates me. Um, it's stopped doing that. I don't know what the deal was. And then I've had a couple times where like we make a party and then all of a sudden we're not in a party and then it's like it puts us on opposite teams in the next game or something. I'm just like, I don't understand why they don't just have real servers. Like why they didn't just do Counter Strike and just like let people host their own servers or whatever. I get it's a control thing. I get that Black Ops and Modern Warfare and Black Ops both, Call of Duty, different games, but you know they want control, and so they don't want like user-made maps. They don't want user-made game modes. They kind of have the custom game modes, but it's still really restricted compared to like the great things that came out of like Counter-Strike Source are like gun game came out of Counter-Strike Source, I think. I don't know if that's initially where it came from, but that's where I first played gun game. And the gun game in Black Ops 2 is different. Like it's a lone wolf style of gameplay where like everyone starts out and plays against everyone else. Where in Counter-Strike Source, you still had terrorist versus counter-terrorist. So when if you're in deathmatch, then everyone was just respawning like crazy. But if you're in just a regular gun game or reverse gun game, you had terrorist versus counter-terrorist. So you had a team that could like do damage if you needed to get your nade kill. They could shoot someone in the leg or something. You could throw your nade and then go knife for your knife level. So the little things like that were different. Those kind of upset me with Black Ops because like there's no way to choose. Like, do you want lone wolf gun game or do you want team gun game? Do you want like the hard mode where you have friendly fire? Like you have options, but they're very limited. You don't have like a way to make like the surf maps. You don't have a way to make I'm trying to remember what some of the other there was like a Warcraft 3 mod and like it was like a leveling system where like your character could become stealth, your CTN, you still look like in the Warcraft 3 Counter-Strike Source game mod, you would get like speed boosts and invisibility to where like you had to level up. It was like RPG elements added into FPS. You had like, but it was a custom mode made by somebody that just took a bunch of time and thought a bunch of things. But they had the server, or had a server that they could make this on, and I those were fun. They were like a kickback throwback night. Like, oh, I'm tired of just playing 24/7 Office. I'm gonna go play this work, and you would get committed to a server where you were playing with the same people over and over, and they were also leveling, and it made you actually go back and play with the same people. Now, Call of Duty Black Ops and Modern Warfare games don't have servers. They just have a matchmaking system where one person in the game, bam, you're the host. As much as that works great for Xbox and stuff, where you don't need servers, you need to just connect and play. For PC, it feels lacking, and I have problems with it. I know there's got to be other people that have problems with it too. I just think, I think they should do it differently because it would open up the game so much more. I mean, Counter-Strike Source is still played by some of my friends on my list today. There's people on there that are just like, Counter-Strike Source, it's the only game I play. And I used to be in a clan that had servers, and we played gun game, and that was like that was their server was a gun game server. Man, you were going back, and people were they knew each other. And in hardcore, I see a few people in Black Ops every now and then. I'm like, I've seen this person before, but it's a smaller community, and it's not the same as having a server and going to a server or a clan server or even if they just had their own like Activision servers or whatever, it'd just be better, I think, in my mind. I can't say that they'd get it right. Even if they took my advice and did it, I can't say that they would do it as I thought or I would do it. And so I could be wrong. I mean, they might do it in a future game and it might suck. But, I got, I don't know. The one thing that really bugs me is I used to make maps for Counter-Strike Source. And I have a couple maps that are up on like FPS Banana and stuff if you want to check those out sometime. There's probably a link on my YouTube channel page. There's a link somewhere. Or you can ask me in comments and I will get to you. For you Counter-Strike, I played gun games, so I made generally like deathmatch sized gun game maps, and I liked that I could get on there and be like, I've got this idea and I want to make this and this and this, and gun game was smaller maps, so it wasn't like intimidating to make a gun game map because you're just making like Nuketown, like you're just making a small map that is going to be like a kill fest. That's all you're doing, and it's really, will it work, or will you have, campable or strategic spots on the map? And sometimes it's cool to see like which maps worked out. I mean, I didn't make a ton of maps. I made just a couple, and they were definitely not like the greatest of maps. Some of them were good for just like the way the layout worked, or like there was kind of a maze-ish thing. One of them was there was just a ton of ramps. Another one was a bunch of stairs, and just a layout in my mind that I wanted to, and think of Inception when he makes the staircase that goes around and around and then starts back over. Like, just those kind of ideas. I think when you open it to the public to make stuff, you can make something great. And Black Ops and Modern Warfare games, they don't open that up to the fans. They don't open it up to the average person. They have their team that does it. And I think those people, they make good maps, but they have a closed mind sometimes, or they have like schemes, themes and schemes that they are trying to set up, or like, but there's just, I don't know, it's not the same, especially when you're using those maps for even like the gun game mode or the lone wolf modes. It's not a totally fair thing, and I would like to see, I'd like to see more maps, but they want to sell map packs, and they want $15 for, is it like 4 or 5 maps for $15? That's crazy, and that's why they won't let you have user-created content like that. So it's unfortunate, and I'd hope to see Treyarch, or is Infinity Ward still in charge? I don't know who's in charge of Modern Warfare now. Don't know. Whoever's in charge, I'd like to see them change it in one or the other of the games, whether it be Black Ops or Modern Warfare. I'd like to see one of them be different, and allow that, but they both are, it's practically the same as the other game. Black Ops is a little more futuristic and Modern Warfare is modern. Woo! Like, 25-year difference in timeline? I don't know. I don't even play the games for the solo player stuff, so I don't know. Anyways, this has gone on way too long, and I hope, for anyone, thank you for sticking through and watching the entire Turtle Talk episode 3. I do plan to make some more episodes. I just don't know what to talk about when I haven't been doing much, and I know I can talk forever. I know I can get up here, turn the light on and the camera on, and I can have a total conversation monologue for a long time. I don't know what's entertaining to you guys yet. I don't have an audience or any analytics about the audience that I have, and waiting until that blows up is not going to happen. I gotta just make videos and see what works. This is a longer video on accident. Didn't mean it, but maybe this will be one that people like. I don't know. We'll see. The last episode was talking about the disproportionate American cartoon characters and versus like how Japanese have stuff, and it didn't really get that many views, but I think that's part of just not marketing it, or not not spamming. I had just come through a week where I had spammed a lot for t-shirt design that I was trying to get printed through Threadless and voted on Threadless, and so I kind of just wasn't like, I'm gonna push this. I took it easy and took a cool approach to that video, and I think it just really was the auto message that YouTube sends out when it goes up, which, looking at now, I'm like, I should have probably pushed it a little bit more because I did not get that many views. So I might actually post that again because I want people to see that. I want people to have conversation about the topics that I talked about there, and like on this, you know, I want you guys to share with me and your opinions on like Black Ops and all the good times of Counter-Strike Source and other games. You know, I want to know, you know, what you guys are into, or you know, want you guys to know what I'm into, or whatever. I mean, and just need stuff to talk about. And anyways, I hope you guys are having a good week, and hope you guys are having fun with the anime or video games, whatever you're playing, doing, watching, whatever's going on. And I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go play some games, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great week.